all the information should be fed from, it should be from one source. You should have, for example, a ministry or a department of planning, something similar to the NIS, National Insurance Scheme, a statutory body. You should have, for example, a planning institute of Grenada. So all the bright minds, all the planners in the country should be focused in one central place and plan for the country. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now. What will Grenada be in 20 years, in 30 years? We don't know. But if you have a central planning unit that plans for the country, I mean, it will be better for Grenada and the rest of the OACS. And so all the information at least will be stored.
Let me ask you this, Justine. I'm not sure that we really touched on it to any great extent, but to what extent is migration a factor in the labor situation we have here in the Caribbean?
Well, migration is a critical factor. I mean, it is very, very, very important because a lot of people in the OECS, they do not look for work.
Speak up.
I say a lot of persons in the OECS and in Grenada, etc. They do not look for work. One of the reasons is because of this whole remittance. My mother sends money for me every week, every month. She said the money she sends for me is more than what I'm getting for a job. Why would I work? Okay, so that's one of the reasons. Okay, and another reason is that.
Hold on, before you move on to the other reason, I'm looking at Curlan's reaction here, and I can't believe that I'm hearing you say what I'm saying, because again, that is something that was said at that conference in St. Kitts this past week. In some cases, the fact that these islands rely so heavily on remittances or get so much in remittances is one of the causes why we have such a high unemployment here. People just don't feel the need to work.
Yes. So
but guys, let me just jump in here. When we're talking about migration, Justine, the other name for it is the diaspora, right?
Right.
All right. It's a new term we use now. We don't say migration and immigration. We talk about the diaspora now. And all the OECS countries have this program trying to attract residents abroad. They call it a special incentive program for returning residents, and is in recognition of the fact that you have nationals abroad with finance and skills, and if there is some way we could attract them back to Grenada, then they come back and invest and make a contribution to the country. Not to come back and compete for jobs, but to come back and create jobs.
Right. Not
to come back and depend on the state for welfare and transfers, but in order to bring and to give, to make a contribution. So that's a program that the OECS has, right? The OECS as a body has right now. But I just want to say that the whole research question is what's the net gain? Do we prefer that our trained people stay here and look at their contribution to the country, or do we prefer they travel abroad and send back remittances? Which approach translates into a net gain for the country? And I must say that we have to change the model.
Yes.
We have to rely on our people to stay here and contribute towards the development of the country, because we do not. When they leave, the residual skills are not sufficient at the level which we want to push the production process forward. Because what you're talking about is expertise.
But when they remain here, they don't obtain those skills.
No, well, yes, but if you mix that with and that's where foreign investment comes in, because those foreign direct investment enterprise come to Grenada, they require different skills in different areas. So it is a whole package. It cannot be by itself in isolation.
Right.
Otherwise, they are here and they can't find anything to do.
Right.
And also it's also piggyback on the compensation for the work. People feel that incomes are so low, it doesn't make sense to stay here. You take 40 years before you can make a man in Grenada, whereby if you travel abroad, you become a man at 21.
Right.
You see? So when you look at those dynamics, people feel to go. But I think we have to consistently push for our brains and our skilled people to remain here to make a contribution and to help move the process forward. This is why we have all these structural problems. There is not enough brains around to help solve the problem.
Okay, that's very good, George. And to add what Curlan is saying, based on the World Migration Report, their World Bank, it states that in the top 10 countries in the world, okay, for tertiary educated persons, the top 10 countries, 8 out of the Caribbean countries, 8 countries in the Caribbean are within the top 10, would have the highest migration rate in the world. I mean, look at that. In the top 10 countries, you have Guyana, in terms of tertiary education, which has the highest migration rate in the world of 89%, followed by Grenada, 85.1%, Jamaica, and St. Vincent. So 8 of the top 10 countries in the Caribbean, I think you have the highest migration rate. And I think that's what would happen to it. Look at the burden it places on the economy. You train someone from kindergarten to secondary school and university, and that person leaves the country and invariably never comes back. And when we did the survey, we look at, for example, what type of remittance, what type of people who go away are the brightest ones.
All right. Anything you gentlemen would like to summarize here for us? I see we're running out of time, and our next guests have already arrived. I'll let you go first, Justine.
Well, as I said, what we have to do in Grenada, and especially in the Oasis, we have to invite all the stakeholders to come together. Maybe have a meeting, how we need to plan for the country. What do we want to have? What Grenada should be 5, 10, 15 years from now? And invite all the stakeholders to participate. To be the government, the opposition, the labor, the churches, the NGO, the private sector, the Chamber of Commerce, the informal sector. Let everybody come together. Have maybe a couple informal meetings, a town hall meetings, and let us plan a strategy to get ourselves out of this quagmire, because it's not that difficult.
Curlan,
yes, I going forward, I would like to see some broad consultation where we can have employers and labor unions coming together to examine the whole labor market situation and to agree on a mechanism for sharing information in areas where you have an oversupply and an undersupply of jobs. I would like to see a coming together in one floor where we can discuss this matter and chat a process going forward, because information sharing is important as we move forward.
I see a couple of comments. I can't let you guys go without reading a couple of comments I see on the shout box here. First of all, Ryan, who's out there in Orlando, says, Curlan, when you have a poor family in the countryside of Grenada having to send kids to school and they have no cash, then they will ask their contacts overseas for some money by Western Union. All right? Chester, who's out there in Zurich, Switzerland, is saying, Curlan, it is not only education. When the people in Taiwan and the Chinese disagree with the government, they don't strike. They wear an armband to show that they disagree, but they keep on working. They don't strike, so business still goes on. All right? Justine, I thank you very much, and I look forward to our next little discussion, which I imagine will be on TVET.
Yes.
And Curlan, I thank you too. When you get back to the church, please tell your congregation that we're most appreciative that they allowed you to come out here with us this morning. We'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot, Jess.
Thanks very much.